Hello everyone, today we will talk about the transit of Neptune. Transiting Neptune is square to natal Pluto. How transiting Neptune square to natal Pluto will behave depends on the position of natal Pluto. This transit may be more prominent in your life if you already have planets in aspect to your natal Pluto. But the basics are as follows. Transiting Neptune square to Pluto brings subtle psychological changes with potentially dramatic consequences. Your personal feelings, attitudes, and ideals are going through these changes, and these changes are very profound. They bring up some forgotten experiences from the early years of life and you feel burdened with unusual feelings, and on the other hand you have no idea why you are experiencing all this. While strong and deep-rooted feelings, mystical experiences, or interests are now surfacing, this profound journey dramatically reshapes your core values over time. Individuals will experience profound inner changes that will shift their focus from material pursuits to spiritual enlightenment or vice versa. Things that once held immense importance will lose control over you, leading to a period of disorientation and discomfort. Think about what is truly important to you at this moment, or which house Neptune is hitting from, and allow yourself the grace to evolve properly. Change, although unsettling, will be a powerful catalyst for personal growth. As Neptune tests your courage in manifesting your soul's blueprint, the fleeting dances of Neptune and Pluto provide collective course corrections. Their cyclical embrace leads to cultural transformation, exposing social illusions and power dynamics that require revision. Nostalgia, euphoria, optimism, anger, or jealousy appear in spurts. You feel all of this terrified by the intensity and irrationality of your own feelings. Individuals will suppress such feelings, but this will only intensify them even more. When it comes to such a transit, you must have the courage to identify each of these feelings and have enough inner strength to allow yourself to express them in a positive way and try to redirect any negative feelings in a constructive way, but this is easier said than done. Given that this is a generational blow, if you feel that your family or social circle cannot validate or appreciate these feelings and experiences, then you probably feel a strong need to suppress the strength of everything you are feeling. As we have already stated, this is a generational influence that is particularly powerful and calls for raising awareness. Long-term tension will continue to reshape society's relationship to spirituality, creativity, and justice. Neptune's uneasy dynamism spreads into the cultural ethos. In the square to Pluto, what grows in the dark comes to light. Social conventions lose legitimacy if they do not serve the highest good, and the rising tide of mystical consciousness and creative innovation challenges the institutions and hierarchies that keep things under control. Those in power risk being overwhelmed if they resist this wave of evolutionary change. Frictions in the squares cause social unrest, revolutions, or mass protests when people start demanding reform. Change ultimately comes from using new visions to transform dilapidated structures. On a personal level, if you are affected by this transit, connect with your own moral compass for guidance and avoid reactionary extremes as change unfolds. Participate in practices and workshops related to self-growth, psychotherapy, and spiritual and metaphysical practices. Dream analysis, hypnosis, meditation, yoga, travel to inspiring faraway places, and psychological treatments are very enlightening now. Avoid fanatical and extreme methods that try to dominate you. You will benefit more from intensive inner work, especially if it is done in a comprehensive, sensitive and positive way with the help of experienced and well-balanced people. Even if you feel that the changes you are experiencing are constructive, you will feel that there is no reason to engage in certain psychological and spiritual methods. Individuals will perceive others as working against them, but this often reflects their own internal struggles projected outward. When you experience loss or betrayal, see it as a mirror of your inner world. These challenges will open the door to understanding your deepest issues. So pay attention to your dreams, visions, and meaningful coincidences, because these are ways the universe guides you towards self-awareness. Accept these messages without judgment and allow them to lead you to a place of inner unity and empowerment. On a mundane level, life simply seems stranger than usual. This is often true, because it is this strangeness that forces you to reshape your own primal passions into a greater sense of purpose and visions for your life. In other words, your turbulent inner pressures are pushing you to achieve and manifest a worldly dream. Be brave about that dream, because you will realize that it does not fit into the trajectory that you, your parents, or your partners have for you. Likewise, this worldly dream is more of a seed that could bear fruit during the year, but it will likely look much different than you imagine. This transit will occur in phases. There will be periods of tumultuous upheaval as the old crumbles, followed by plateaus that integrate changes. The changes that are happening now have various effects, such as giving up bad habits like overeating, smoking, drinking, overcoming lack of self-confidence or limitations stemming from early relationships with parents, increasing creativity and imagination, developing psychic abilities, and gaining a new spiritual perspective. However, there are also negative consequences, especially if you engage in extreme and fanatical spiritual practices where you may even feel jealous or become irrational and unbalanced. Tensions arise because repressed feelings and hidden talents emerge. Therapy or counseling will help in the positive release of these energies, but suppressing them or negative expression will lead to destruction. Facing inner problems is key to avoiding acquiring secret enemies. Ultimately, this is a call to a profound transformation of the soul. A call that forces you to let go of outdated beliefs and embrace a more authentic way of being. The process is challenging, but it is deeply liberating. By confronting your inner shadows and integrating them with compassion, you will emerge stronger and more aligned with your true purpose.